till 2:30 for Cerro Gordo County and Worth County. So the cities, as you see right there, Fertile, Kensett, Manly, and Northwood. Aiden, let's go ahead and put a fan tracker right there, located just down to the south and east of Fertile, and then let's drag that out to the entirety of the warning. I just want to make sure we get every single community that we can and highlighted from one of the more dangerous portions of that storm, and then let go of that track. There we go. So timing on this, in Fertile, right now you are under the gun. You really need to be taking shelter from the storm at this time. Hanlantown, 155, 212 into Kensett, 219 Northwood, 229 Deer Creek. The tornadic portion of the storm, really honestly, it could be anywhere within this, but this is the area we are most concerned about, where more than likely there was rotation observed, but there could be additional spots where there is rotation occurring, just because of the environment that we're in with this particular setup, which is extremely unique and also dangerous because it gets to be difficult to pinpoint where these are. A tornado warning is in effect until 2:30 for Cerro Gordo County and Worth County. Let's get back to Freeborn County. We haven't forgot about anyone here, but we just want to make sure we're giving enough detail on every single one of the warnings that we have that are out there right now. The Freeborn County tornado warning is in effect until 2:15, so we've got about another 22 minutes on that. Counties, yes, obviously, counties Freeborn. Cities, Geneva, Hayward, Hollandale, and Riceland affected by this particular storm. Let's, for fun, let's get that velocity scope back up, maybe on the northern side of this. We did have rotation that we were seeing in the Hollandale area, and yeah, it is becoming a little bit more nondescript. A couple of things could be happening here. We could have a tornado in this area right around Hollandale. We could also have some downdraft winds, but either way, we are getting some pretty clear signs of rotation on that portion of the storm. So a couple things could be happening. We could have a tornado. We could also have some stronger downdraft winds in that spot. And just this area from Albert Lea to around Hayward, Glenville, it is just very difficult to parse out where things could be happening there. You do need to be taking shelter in that portion of the storm. So let's take that off. Just another reminder, that far northeastern corner to me of Freeborn County is most concerning. That is going to be heading into Blooming Prairie, so please be taking shelter there. In between Albert Lea and Glenville, this is where we have a history of a tornado. I am a little bit more concerned about this spot just to the north of Glenville. Let's zoom in on the radar picture there just so we can get a better idea of some street level there, Aiden. So thank you. Yes, Hayward. Right now, this is a heavier rain portion of the storm, but also a spot where there could very well be rotation. This is the funnel cloud that was spotted. And we're going back a little ways. That tornado. Okay, and I was just seeing that too. That's great. We have some tree damage. The trees and power lines are down on the south side of Albert Lea, Margaretha Avenue area. Okay, so. All right, so we're also going to be getting a thunderstorm warning for Dodge with tornado possible. Okay, so much happening in a very short amount of time. This is the tree damage that we have. Do we have a location on this particular? It is in Albert Lea, okay, and we're going to try to get just a little bit more specific information on where that might be. But yes, there has been trees and power lines down in Albert Lea on the south side of town, from what I understand, the Margaretha Avenue area. So that was from this storm that continues to progress. More than likely, there will continue to be reports like this. Trees down. You're not going to have a lot of specific information as to exactly where these tornadoes are located. So as an FYI, especially in the Hayward area right now, everybody within this tornado polygon needs to be taking shelter at this time. Getting another message coming in here shortly, but let's get a wider view right now on the radar picture just to get a little bit the full polygon. I want to make sure we got the full view here. I keep mentioning Hollandale to Blooming Prairie. We do have a portion of that storm that is particularly dangerous right now, and we're also, on top of the tornado concerns, this now is beginning to form a bow echo from Blooming Prairie all the way to just about Claremont. Claremont over the far eastern side of Steele County. All right, so now we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is all the way into the Rochester area from this storm that is bowed out right there. So that's going to be moving in. Let's zoom out a little bit farther. We want to make sure we get back to, I'm going to address this in just a little bit. Get back to the tornado warning. We also have another warning that has just come out along the line in Cerro Gordo County. So I don't know how many we're at now, but we're about 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 warnings at this time, and a lot of this is just coming in very quickly. So in the Mason City area, let's start with this. Heads up, those of you in Freeborn County, you need to be taking shelter. You know where you're at, especially around Hayward up to the Blooming Prairie area on the northeast side of Freeborn County. You need to be taking shelter in this entire area right now, because there's just the storm is a little bit nondescript. It's a concerning part of the storm. So Freeborn County, please be taking shelter. These have been forming very quickly. They're not big, wide tornadoes that are easy to pick up, but they are damage-causing tornadoes. Looking at this tornado warning that we have in Cerro Gordo County, that's the northwestern side of Cerro Gordo County. Let's zoom in a little bit tighter on that one and show you this. That area of concern has primarily been near Fertile and just down to the southeast. And there could also be rotation in this newer cell between Kensett and Manly, just to the east of Highway 65, also right along Interstate 35. So in this entire area, from Fertile, from the northwestern side of Cerro Gordo County, stretching to the northeastern corner of Worth County, you need to be taking shelter. Let's zoom in now to this, zoom out a little bit and then down into Cerro Gordo County. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning. I believe that's a couple of counties wide. And yeah, it's going to hold on to that for a little bit. So there we go. Woo, Butler County, Cerro Gordo County, Franklin County, Worth County, you are now in this severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to back out so you can see the full screen here, but winds gusting up to around 60 miles per hour, and the possibility of a tornado within any of this line right now. I just had to take a quick drink of water. I'm still here. Zoom out a little bit farther. Let's take a big scope shot, Aiden, and then we're going to dig into this severe thunderstorm warning coming out of Steele County as this line is starting to bow out. Thunderstorms now stretching for us along into the east of I-35 from Steele County into Dodge County, stretching all the way down into Wright County and Franklin County, from Hancock County into Cerro Gordo County. Tornado warnings on the northwestern side of Cerro Gordo County through Worth County. In Freeborn County, mainly on the east side of Freeborn County, heads up Blooming Prairie, Hollandale down to around Hayward. That is a very dangerous portion of the storm. We have a tornado warning there, and we have this severe thunderstorm warning. So we're going to do a warning review from top to bottom here. This portion of the storm that is starting to bow out, that's going to be doing two things. That's going to have the capability on the leading edge of producing tornadoes. That's something that we're watching out for. That can happen suddenly, and that can happen without warning. So consider this a warning. Along this whole line right now, as it continues to move to the Dodge Center area, down to around Hayfield, and continues to move to the east, while we aren't picking up any tornadoes, neither has the National Weather Service, one could develop at any moment in time, and we'll look for spots like this, where there could be something, these little notches in the radar picture right there. So this storm continues to move off to the east. Severe thunderstorm warning for the eastern side of Steele County, for all of Dodge County except the far northwestern corner, and for Olmsted County, including Rochester down to Stewartville. This storm continues to move to the east. Let's put a squall line track right along the leading edge right there, and then we'll draw that out to the east. So this is going to be one of the most dangerous portions of the storm right there. So we'll show you that in just a moment. Aiden's drawing that out. The most dangerous portion of the storm as it continues to track off to the east into Olmsted County. So a heads up to your location. This storm, this squall line right there, is going to be in Lansing at 2 o'clock. Okay, let's bring that back to me in just a moment, please. Thank you so much, Paul. We'll get to that in just a moment. Austin, Casson, Byron, let's see, Renova, Byron, High Forest, 231, Rochester at 236. Rochester at 236, Pleasant Grove at 244, Marion 246, and 254 in Spring Valley. That is the most dangerous portion of this storm, so heads up. It is a severe thunderstorm warning right now, but along this line, and for all of these locations right here, there could be a tornado that develops on the leading edge of that line. Okay, and while we're at it here, Paul, I'm going to get to you in a second. I would like somebody with engineering or somebody to get Aiden a microphone and an IFB so that we're able to go to him. All right? So, okay, let's go to Jim. We've got a funnel cloud forming, and then we're going to move the radar picture to that. So, okay, so Jim cannot speak right now, but we are picking up rotation. I just need, he's on I-90, and he's on I-90 eastbound and headed toward Austin. Okay, so he's near the Hayward exit. Is that where he's at? All right. And if, so I'm guessing that he's on his phone, so he's not able to talk to us. But If there's any way that in a certain amount of time we're able to get some audio to Jim, that would be helpful as well. Let's stay on that right now. I want to give a quick review on the warnings that we have in effect while we're looking at that. This is a more concerning part of the storm. In the Hayward area, that tornado warning has been whittled down just a little bit. All right, keep him on standby. Don't get rid of that video. I just want to go to the tornado warning so that I can get a little, oh my gosh. All right, things are really ramping up right there. So in the Hayward area right now, this is about where Jim is located, just north of Hayward. This portion of the storm right now, all the way off to the northeastern side of Freeborn County, please be taking shelter at this time. Rotation spotted there. And I'm going to get that report in as well to the National Weather Service. I'm just going to pipe that into that. Rotating wall cloud near Hayward exit on I-90. All right, so just making sure that we let our friends know at the National Weather Service what we are seeing as well. Whenever we get those kind of reports from you, we want to get those reports in too. In the Hayward area, tornado warning until 2:15 and maybe extended right now. I'm not too worried about whether or not it's going to be extended or not. At this time, just pay attention to the fact that there is a tornado warning. Hayward to Hollandale, we could have rotation on that. Let's go back to Jim. I just wanted to make sure everybody in this area knew, even in Moscow, make sure you're taking cover from this. Let's go back to Jim, that video that he's got. Okay, he's keeping a close eye on that. We've got the lowering in the cloud, seeing rotation right there. Moments ago, maybe a funnel cloud as well. So, all right, yeah, we're not seeing anything coming down right now. And I just want to, I'm sorry, okay, there we go. We have a tornado warning that continues basically from Fertile up to the northeastern corner of Worth County. Okay, so we've got the Freeborn County tornado warning. Let's go a little bit farther down to the south, and we'll show you what's going on with that Worth County. We're just, all right, frankly, everyone, we're juggling cats when we get so many warnings like this. Not leaving anyone out. Just want to make sure that we are getting as much information out as on all these as we can. So Fertile area, let's zoom out a little bit wider, but heads up northward to Kensett as this is continuing to make its way farther to the northeast. Getting toward the Carpenter area soon as well. Grafton, you're right on the edge of that warning. You are in an area of danger though as well. Grafton, Kensett, Manly, please be taking shelter right now from this. Let's zoom out a little bit farther down or zoom farther south. Taking a look at this area right now near Fertile. Notice the radar picture switched a little bit. Let's go back a little bit farther to the north. Let's get just the whole area that's in this tornado warning right now. So Fertile over to Manly. This right now is the most dangerous portion of the storm. Storm continues to make its way off to the northeast. Yep, there we go, perfect. So Fertile to Manly, soon to be into Kensett, but also northward to Kensett and all the way to the northeastern side. So if you're in between St. Ansgar and Kensett, right in that area, we could also have rotation within that portion of the storm. This is the most concerning between Fertile and Manly in Worth County, the far northern edge of Cerro Gordo County as well. So southeast of Fertile, this is a spot we're watching. Now we have a severe thunderstorm warning a little bit farther down to the south, unless anything has changed right there. So let's go a little bit farther to the south. We do have that, I do believe, yeah, that's in effect for Mason City, Clear Lake. So all throughout Cerro Gordo County, that is a big warning. Now let's go back farther to the north. So we've covered from north to south, and we're going to take a look at this severe thunderstorm warning that we have from this line right now. There it is. Couple of spots of note. Right now there's Rochester, we're getting the rainfall coming in, Casson, but right in Dodge Center. Okay. It's very rain wrapped where Jim is at. Do we have video? Let me get through this warning first and then we'll go back to Jim if possible. Right along this leading edge. As this storm moves through, potential of winds of 60 miles per hour, but also the possibility of a tornado. Looking for little notches that might indicate that there could be something starting to wrap up just a little bit. West Concord down to Hayfield. Let's zoom the map just a little bit farther down to the south. This line continues to move off to the east. All right, so Hayfield to Waltham. Let's go to this area right here. Let's move a little bit farther down to the south. Now we do have this tornado warning that is in effect for Freeborn County, from the Hayward area to the northeastern side of the county, Blooming Prairie, but this is also a little concerning to me as well, the northwestern side of Mower County. At this point, just wherever there's a thunderstorm, wherever we see these lines of storms, we're going to keep a real close eye on this. So from Waltham back to around the Lansing area, there could be, as we have just a little indentation in the radar picture right there, we're not picking up any strong velocity, but that's where things could be starting to turn just a little bit. And let's go a touch farther down to the south as this line, this storm with a tornado warning on it continues in Freeborn County. Jim, I'm assuming, is in the same spot. Do we still have video from Jim out in the field? This he's on I-90 eastward. This is from meteorologist Jim Peterson. You all know him, a friend of ours here, and he is in Freeborn County right now. He is on Interstate 90. We have hands-free video from Jim, thank goodness, so don't worry about him. He's doing well, but we're seeing a lot of ragged cloud bottoms with this. So a lot of activity in these storms today, much like we were using yesterday. And numerous tornado warnings. We have tornado warnings for Freeborn County right now. We have tornado warning in Worth County, Manly to Kensett. Heads up for you in that area. This tornado warning is not been extended yet. We have at this time not had any additional reports in the Lansing area, in northwestern Mower County, but I would just encourage you from Austin and in Austin right now and in Lansing, Moscow, please be taking shelter from this storm as it continues to move. This storm has a history of producing a tornado. One has been spotted, one did damage already, power lines and trees down. So that is definitely a primary concern for us as this storm continues to track farther to the east. And zoom out a little bit here. All right, that is gaining a little bit of steam, by the way, now in the latest scan that we're getting. Let's go back to Worth County. Northwood, you're in that tornado warning. Manly, you're just on the edge of it. Fertile also being affected. This line continues to move to the northeast. I don't know, so we have reports turned on the radar picture. At this time, there haven't been any additional tornado or funnel cloud reports. As soon as any come in, they're going to pop up on the screen right there. Aiden, would you mind in just a little bit driving and then talking about what you're seeing there? I'm going to take just a touch of a break, grab a drink of coffee right here, but Aiden is also on the radar picture, so why don't you go ahead and just give us a summary of the warnings that we have out there right now, Aiden, if you could, please.
All right, so right now we're going to go from north to south. Right now we have a large severe thunderstorm warning over Dodge County into Olmsted County. That does include Dodge Center, all the way over to Rochester, down to Stewartville. We have a Boeing line of thunderstorms which will be capable of producing gusty winds. There is the potential for tornadoes, embedded tornadoes that could quickly spin up with very little warning in this line as well. So while you don't have a tornado warning, tornadoes are certainly possible. We're seeing 60-mile-per-hour winds potentially with this. Hail isn't really much of a concern at this point. Again, tornadoes will be possible as this line moves off to the east towards Casson, into Rochester as well. If we look down to the south, we have that tornado warning still in effect for portions of eastern, northeastern Freeborn County. That is in effect until 2:15, so for another 7 minutes or so. That storm has mostly moved over areas such as Lansing, is moving towards Austin right now, Waltham, US Highway 218. If you're near Lansing, you are getting some pretty heavy rain right now. There also is the potential that there could be some spin-up funnel clouds and tornadoes here as well. Again, this is a situation where this can spin up very quickly and with very little warning. So things are rapidly changing with this system, or with this storm as well. We'll see, we're not seeing any extensions of a tornado warning or severe thunderstorm warning with this line yet, but that could change at any second. Now, if we zoom down to the south, we also have a tornado warning in parts of eastern and northeastern Worth County right now. Communities such as Kensett, Northwood, you are under that warning. Fertile, you are no longer under that warning. It has moved off to the east. But again, this is a situation where there's just a lot of spin in the atmosphere, and anything that is maturing into a thunderstorm, even just the light showers or some of the heavier showers that are moving through, there's spin in the atmosphere. There's a lot of it, and that is allowing for some quick spin up funnels potentially. We're not seeing any reports as of right now of any new funnels or tornadoes, but that is something that we are watching very closely. This warning is in effect until 2:30, so that's another 20 now minutes or so. Deer Creek, Hamilton Town, Kansas, and Northwood, those are some cities involved. This is Worth County, again, until 2:30. No confirmed tornadoes as of right now. This is radar indicated hail isn't as much of a concern. We move south now to Cerro Gordo County. This also includes Butler, Franklin, Worth County. This is a very large severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Clear Lake, Hampton, Manly, Mason City. There's the tornado, again, as with pretty much everything that's taking place across our area right now, tornadoes are possible with this. They can spin up very quickly. So this should honestly, in all honesty, this should be treated almost like a tornado warning as well.
Treat it like a tornado warning. Let me just interject for a second, Aiden. Let's go back to that top storm. We're going to go into Dodge County. I want to show you something too. Just let's get the scope on the storm right in central Dodge County. So this is where we have the severe thunderstorm warning, and take a look at the velocity signature right there. So we're getting a clearer image of what's going on right now in central Dodge County. This is where the winds are starting to kick up and where there could also be some spots that maybe there gets to be a little bit of a spin up where we have these damaging wind gusts. So this is a bow echo. And what bow echoes do is we have this very warm and humid air coming into a storm, then that moves upward. Then it moves upward, and then on the back side of it, the winds are crashing down on the back side of that bow. So we have that bow-shaped line right there, and then look at the velocity. So what the velocity is picking up, the radar is able to pick up the direction that everything is moving in the atmosphere, the direction that the raindrops, the dust, that birds and butterflies are moving. So in this portion of the storm right now, right over central Dodge County, Dodge Center now approaching the Casson area, that is where we have that higher likelihood of damaging winds within this storm. North of 14, stretching down to Highway 14, just on the eastern side of Dodge Center, and now all the way down to Hayfield. So that entire portion of the storm right now has the potential of producing damaging winds. We have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 2:45, and that is going to continue to move to the east. This is going to continue to move to the east. It's a little bit ragged on the radar picture on the leading edge. It's a little bit ragged on the leading edge of it, but when we're right into central Dodge County, you can see that. So one more time in the velocity picture, just want to show that one more time. This is one thing that we're most concerned about, but with this line and why it's a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. We're getting this very broad area. Okay, let's get rid of the velocity scope for now. We've got Jim back on the line, and while we're doing that, we're going to pop back and forth to the radar picture in Freeborn County. Let's get the very latest on what's going on with that as the storm is moving on out farther to the east. And just a heads up, in the Austin area, even without a warning right now, you need to be just preemptively get down into your basement. This storm has a history of rotating in spots, and it's happening in a hurry. So let's go to Jim. We got Jim on the line right now. Jim, how are you doing? All right, I can hear.
Yeah, Randy.
Oh, there you go. Sorry.
Yep. No, you're good. You're good. I'm on I-90 eastbound, coming up about 9 miles away from Austin, and what you just said about people in the Austin area do need to seek shelter into your basements. I can tell you firsthand, I've been watching this storm for the last, say, 30 minutes and change, and there's been a lot of up and down motion and some rotation with it on the backside, right where you would expect these tornadoes to potentially form.
And we just got a new tornado warning, it looks like, Jim, just ahead of you. Brand new tornado warning that just came out for Dodge, Mower, and Olmsted counties. And that's right now, Jim, just to keep you in the loop, that's around the Lansing to Waltham area, is on the southwestern side of this. So new tornado warning has just come out for Dodge County, Mower County, and Olmsted County. You see this right here. I'm just pulling up our communication with the National Weather Service to see what kind of information that we've got from them. So let's see. Doesn't look, I'm just trying to see if we have anything that's been observed right there. It is radar indicated rotation. Okay, so let's dig into this one a little bit more. This one's got some urgency at this time. The Freeborn County warning is going to be let to expire at 2:15 because that storm is now moved farther to the east. This is an area of high concern, Hayfield down to the Dexter area, back to the west, right around Lansing, north of Austin. So I'm guessing by the radar picture right now, this is the most dangerous portion of the storm. Let's pull up the velocity on this. We're going to have a better picture. Okay, let's zoom in right now a little bit tighter to what's going on right here between Lansing and Dexter. And it's going to bop between radar sites. It's going to go back between La Crosse and Minneapolis. Let's go a little bit farther to the east so we can get La Crosse's radar on that. All right, this area right here, Lansing to Dexter, Highway 56 south of Waltham, watching this very carefully on the radar velocity and a possibility of a tornado right there. This is radar indicated tornado, but more than likely considering what has been today and yesterday, more than likely there is at minimum rotation with this, if not something that could touch the ground. Also this spot just to the south of, southwest of Waltham. You need to be taking shelter here as well. This isn't a whole lot, but this is also the possibility that we could have some rotation in that spot or that we could have a possible tornado in that location. So let's get rid of the velocity scope now. Let's get a bigger view of this so we can see exactly where this storm is going. This is going to be affecting the storm. Right here is going to be affecting Casson. It is right now. It'll be moving into Byron. You're getting rain in these locations, but the core of this is moving your way. Northern Mower County making its way into southwestern Olmsted County. So this is High Forest, Stewartville, Rockdale, Hayfield, all just south of Byron. This area that's in the southeastern quadrant of Dodge County, southwestern Olmsted County, and northern Mower County. You are all under this tornado warning right now. Let's zoom in a little bit tighter to get some info on the timing of this and get a little bit closer to the most dangerous portion of it. We could have rotation right here based on the radar picture, but the more dangerous portion of the storm south of Waltham right now, a brand new cell just popping up in the Stewartville area, but that is not the storm that is warned at this time. But the counties, again, Dodge, Mower, Olmsted, the cities affected, Hayfield, High Forest, Rockdale, Stewartville. A tornado warning in effect until 2:45. Pretty much all of this storm right now is capable of doing a couple of things. Tornadoes popping up quickly along the entire line of it, locations changing on those fairly quickly, and then damaging wind gusts as well. So on the northern side of this, let's take a look again because we have two things going on in the same area, the severe thunderstorm warning and the tornado warning. Let's get the velocity scope on the Wasioja to Casson-Manorville area right now to show you where this is. I would just be getting into your basement right now, Casson-Manorville, Wasioja, and there it is. There's that wind right there on that bow echo. Damaging wind's a possibility. I would also just caution you, especially between Casson and Hayfield right now, please be in your basements. You do want to be in your basement everywhere here just because the winds, the storm has a history of producing strong winds that are knocking down tree limbs, tree branches, and trees. You don't want to be near a window when that's happening. Your basement's the best place to be. If you don't have a basement, get into an interior room away from all windows to avoid these strong winds. Wasioja to Casson, stretching down to the Hayfield area, that's the bow echo. Now let's go a little bit farther down to the south into that tornado warning and investigate that a little bit further with the velocity scope into the Waltham area to Hayfield. Still a little bit ragged, again in Waltham. Please be taking shelter right now. We don't have a very strong, what we call gate to gate on this at this time, but it looks a little suspicious right there where we have those winds rotating a bit, so there could be. And one of the tricky parts about this is that a lot of the rotation within these tornadoes today and yesterday is it's occurring in the lower levels of the atmosphere. It's not being vaulted like these classic high plane supercells where the rotation is detectable up to 30, 40,000 feet. This is in the lower 5,000 feet of the atmosphere, and right now there's enough to indicate that there could be a radar on the, or there could be a tornado on the ground right now, okay? And then also down to the east of Highway 56. This whole area, it's a little bit soupy. Let's go with the radar picture and show that. This is continuing to move off to the northeast. Just want to give you perspective here. Lansing, Highway 56, there's Dexter. Be taking shelter in Dexter right now as well, all the way up to the far southwestern side of Olmsted County into Dodge County. We've got straight-line wind concerns in Dodge County and rotation within this portion of the storm from Waltham down to the north side of Austin, to the northeast of Lansing. Anyone living out in this area, you're going to want to be taking shelter, staying away from windows, because this is something where it's just really ragged and everything's going to be rain, not really wrapped necessarily, but rain shrouded. It's going to be very difficult to see because all of this right here, that's heavy rain. So that's making the visibility in this situation even more difficult. Let's zoom out a little bit farther and show this. So let's go out a little bit farther, and then let's get a squall line track on this whole line, Aiden, all the way from Austin up to Dodge Center, and then let's drag that farther off to the east. So this line, which does include a tornado warning. By the way, Freeborn County, you're warning free right now. Freeborn County, you're warning free. But looking at the track, and I want you to find your town right here, wherever you're located or near that community, and we've got the timing on that. That is the more intense portion of the storm. Now, we do have some heavy rain falling on top of our roof right now, but that's a little additional storm that has just popped up in the Rochester area. Byron, 225, the arrival of those strong winds. Rockdale, 228, Pleasant Valley, 236, Rochester, 240, Stewartville, 244. We have a short video we're going to go to in a little bit, but just a heads up. Spring Valley at 306, Chatfield at 310. From this line that continues to move off to the east. We have some video that was in Austin earlier. Let's take a look at that video from the Austin area. And do we have any information on what we were looking at there? This is just a lot. Oh, right, then a lowered base right there. All right, just a really good indicator of the overall, just really ragged situation we have with these storms moving through right now. I'm just going to check back in with our friends in the National Weather Service offices to see if there are any reports that I'm missing. Let's jump to our Rochester Tower Cam. Aiden, I know you've got that, it's in the rundown somewhere there. Tornado warning into southwestern Olmsted County, severe thunderstorm warning for all of Rochester. My goodness. One of the reasons why it is so hard to see anything that is happening out there right now just by this view. Now granted, we're at the top of Broadway Plaza, a little harder to see there. Let's just take a tour of all the other tower cams around the area as well, Aiden. We're watching, yeah, actually while you're at it, just keep turning it. Let's just go straight to the west. Let's go over downtown with that. In Austin, visibility very low. It is absolutely soupy out there. We've got a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. One of the reasons why that is feeding into just a tremendous amount of rainfall here for us. And we are getting just pounded with heavy rain here at the station right now. Let's get a couple of other views. Let's go back a little bit to the west. Let's go straight there, but let's see some other views. Let's take a look at Albert Lea and Austin. Pull them up on the system right now. And then we're going to have to get back to this warning very quickly. But just again, there's a tornado warning into the southwestern side of Olmsted County. Here's a look in Austin right now. Very just a gloomy looking sky. And let's go to Albert Lea and see how things are looking for us in Albert Lea right now as well. I think I've got that in the rundown. Okay, there we go. So we're getting a little bit more clarity in the Albert Lea area. I'm happy for my friend Tom right next door there. Everything's fine on Fountain Lake. Radar picture, let's go to that, show you what's happening, get the very latest on the warnings across the area. We do have tornado warning for Olmsted County, so we're going to go to Weather First radar in just a moment here and show you the storms that we have across the area. Severe thunderstorm warning for Dodge County into Olmsted County. That does include Rochester. We had a brand new cell that forms, and even I would be a little cautious about that particular storm too. This line that is moving from Dodge County and Mower County off to the east, that's going to be affecting, even in the Austin area, you're not in a warning at this time, but you should be just waiting this one out until the storms pass by. Worth County, no longer in a tornado warning. That is expired at 2:15 along with the Freeborn County warning. But this tornado warning right here, that's going to take top priority. Let's take a look at that one again. Mason City, you've got a big storm moving through right now. There's a severe thunderstorm warning on that. Just everybody where this storm is happening needs to be taking shelter. We're going to go to a picture in Clear Lake in just a moment here. There we go. Yeah, let's go to that. Let's go to that. Show you what's happening. Just a dark and ominous sky. And again, clouds lowering. In every one of these pictures that we're seeing, we've got a lot of lowered bases or rain-free bases. Those are going to be some areas where there could very well be some rotation that is able to produce a tornado, and some of them have already. Okay, back to the radar picture. I want to just give a quick update on this tornado warning. That's in effect until 2:45. That is for northern Mower County, just off to the northwest of Dexter. But again, a heads up, in Dexter, you should be taking shelter right now in Hayfield, all the way over to not Forestville, into High Forest, and in Rockdale, all the way to the Byron area and just down to the south. In Byron, Cass and Manorville right now, still some strong gusty winds. We're not getting any brand new reports from our partners yet of any wind damage. We've had a couple reports of wind damage out there, but this tornado warning, let's get a velocity scope and just get a better idea. It looks like we got a brand new scan. Okay, a little concerned about this spot just south of Casson, between Hayfield and Casson right now, and you see that right there. There could be rotation, or there could just be very strong downdraft winds from that storm. Also this, all right, a little concerned about this too. That's that cell that just popped up in the Rochester area. That's showing signs of rotation on the southwest side of Rochester, so that's a little concerning too. And then Dexter up to Hayfield. So now looking at all this, let's go back to the radar reflectivity, okay? And then let's go to the Rochester area. There's no warning at this time, but this cell, not very large, but a little bit concerning, especially on the southwest side of Rochester. So please, in southwest Rochester, please be taking shelter right now. I know there's no warning with this. I'm not trying to scare you. It's just what I'm seeing right now to prepare you for the possibility that there could be rotation with this storm, especially. Are they going to put out a warning on it? Okay, we do. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. I'm concerned about that spot on the southwest side of Rochester. So yes, now they've, yep, there it is. They've updated the, looks like we have a brand new tornado warning. It does include the Rochester area. I'm glad it, we have a tornado warning right here at the station. Hopefully everybody's phones are going off that is in this tornado warning. All right, this storm, this lonely one right here, is concerning. Then we have the tornado warning from this line as it continues to come our way. So everyone right now, if your phone just went off, even if it didn't, should be taking shelter in the basement at this time for the possibility that there could be a tornado near. We are all in that tornado warning right now. I want somebody else besides me or Aiden, someone here to be able to keep an eye on our tower cam and maybe even come back here and start to swivel it around a little bit so we can get an idea of what we may be able to see here. But just somebody who can give us an idea of what we've got going on out there. We've got the sirens going off now in Rochester. We've probably got sirens going off all across the area. So once again, all right, Aiden, someone else is going to be able to come in here soon and take care of that tower cam view. So just a heads up, back in the production booth, we're going to want somebody to be able to do that. We have this cell right here, but then we also have this storm here, okay? South of Casson, right there. That's prompting the tornado warning. We also have rotation being picked up on the southwest side of Rochester. So a couple spots that are of a concern. I want you to see, please, if you can move the downtown tower cam to see if there's anything showing up on the tower cam view. Yeah, let's just scroll left and right on that to see if there's any lowered bases, anything that we're able to see from Broadway Plaza. All right, and in the Casson area, let's go back to the velocity picture. Just heads up right now. Northern Mower County, Dodge County, south of Casson, in Rochester, please be taking shelter. Byron, need to be taking shelter. Just in this entire area, there's a lot going on. I don't want to be calling everybody out here, but Stewartville, Rockdale, High Forest, Hayfield, Byron, Rochester, New Haven, in the basements until the storm passes by. Please, we've just got a lot going on right now. Between Rockdale and Casson, this is an area of concern. We're going to have either some rotation or some damaging wind gusts. Let's zoom in a little tighter with the velocity on still and take a look at what's right on top of the Rochester area. Now that's a little bit towards the northwest, so we're looking, here's Highway 52, so it's in between or right on Highway 52. It's showing signs of rotation right there. That is not to say that there is a tornado, but there could be right now, and it is in a spot that makes sense, because let's take away that velocity signature really quick. Let's move on to just reflectivity. If we could go back to reflectivity on that, please, just to show you what we have here. Yeah, that's in the exact spot that there should be rotation. So going back to the velocity signature, I'm just also trying to get a look at what we're seeing on the tower cam view. Okay. Right now it looks a little bit better than it did before. Okay, let's take that off. Let's go back to reflectivity and zoom out on this entire warning, just to give everybody a very clear idea of what we have going on. From the Casson-Manorville area, tornado warning all the way into the Rochester area. That stops once we get off to the far northeastern corner of Olmsted County, all the way down to about Iota. That front cell on the leading edge, that has shown signs of rotation right over Rochester. At this time, while we have a lot, we have a lot of spotters that are out in the Rochester area. They are very good. They know exactly what they're doing. If there was a tornado, we more than likely would have heard about that in this particular cell. This one, this whole area is a little bit more soupy. This is more concerning. So as that line continues to move off to the east, it is capable of producing a tornado. We have a tornado warning until 3 p.m. for Casson and Manorville, for Byron, all the way into Olmsted County, through Olmsted County. Let's zoom out a little bit. We're going to take a look farther down to the south. We also have a tornado warning that does not include Austin, but it is in Mower County, basically right along into the north of I-90, north of I-90 here into northern Mower County, into the southeastern side of Dodge County, and into southwestern Olmsted County. 2 tornado warnings in effect right now for Dodge County. That's going to be all of Dodge County right now. Tornado warning for the northern side of Mower County, and for the 2 tornado warnings right now for Olmsted County, central Olmsted County, and the southwestern side of the county. Let's zoom out a little bit so that we can show both of those tornado warnings. So we have a portion of the storm on the leading edge that may be able to produce a tornado. Multitasking, just trying to make sure that I get any of the very latest reports. We are taking a look around on our tower cam to see what we're able to see there. We're also stuck in some low visibility here just because of the very heavy rain that we have going on. Paul, you were in my ear just a little bit ago. What do we have video of? Okay, we've got a picture from previously. This is a funnel cloud that was in the Emmons area. Maybe a funnel cloud, maybe a rotating wall cloud. Either way, that both would be prompting a tornado warning, very reasonably so. To me, that looks like a rotating wall cloud, and it's got a little bit of a beaver tail there on the bottom right side of it. So yes, absolutely something potent that would absolutely prompt a tornado warning. So we're getting a message from... Oh yeah, all right, so they just, we were talking about that a little bit ago. The alert that we just got was a tornado has been radar indicated in the area of southwest Rochester. Okay, let's rewind a little bit on what we were talking about. That tornado possible on the southwest side of Rochester. Zoom in tight here. Let's take a look at that. That was just from the emergency manager. Now let's get the velocity on that as well. That rotation that was there, it was there a little while ago. It is a little bit more nondescript. Let's zoom out just a little bit here and see what we're able to see a bit farther out. No matter what, heads up that this, now it looks like it's maybe a little bit farther to the north. We were talking about that about 5 minutes ago or so. That rotation on the southwest side of Rochester from that cell that had just popped up. All around Rochester, you need to be taking shelter right now, all around Olmsted County. Looking at the velocity picture right now, this is an area that is going to have some damaging wind gusts into the Byron area, Byron down to Rockdell. That is a dangerous portion of the storm. There may also be the possibility that something could be wrapping up near Rockdell, not too far, and also anywhere along this line where we have those winds coming in. Possibility of a tornado being there. There's a lot of radar indicated rotation within these storms. It is, as I mentioned, really, really soupy out there. It is getting very difficult to see because of the heavy rain, because of the high moisture levels. But that velocity picture is giving us information on the western side of Olmsted County that would indicate that this is a dangerous storm, that you want to be taking shelter from it. And I understand, I know it, we have another warning as well. Let's go to that. So we've got Dodge, Mower, Olmsted County tornado warning. We have the sirens going off right outside our building right now. And my wife is telling me out at our house out by Chesterwoods that the wind is really coming up out there. So it is all over the place right now, and we have a dangerous situation. Be safe, please go into the basement. Thank you, love you. Okay, now I've taken care of that. Thunderstorms all the way down into Mower County, tornado warnings from Dodge County into Olmsted County, tornado warning in northern Mower County, and that's into the southwestern side of Olmsted County. So this is just one big messy storm right now. It's not a classic supercell setup, and it's very frustrating to try to dig into exactly where all rotation might be within this, but it has a history. Yesterday was a setup like today where tornadoes are forming anywhere within this line. So tornado warning that is in effect from Mower County all the way to the southwestern side of Olmsted County. And this storm that's making its way into the Rochester area and right now getting in with some of the heavier rain. Let's dig into this then, Aiden, please. Let's try to get some velocity back and get a good view of this. But by the way, did I miss any warnings that came out while we were talking about this? Did any additional warnings come out in North Iowa? Are we seeing any?
It does not appear so. There's still that warning, the severe thunderstorm warning. Mason City is on the far western side of it. It includes eastern Cerro Gordo and extreme southeastern Worth counties. There is nothing new there, though, and it looks like those storms are pushing out of the warning, so we'll have to watch for an extension to the east, but there hasn't been one issued yet.
All right. Okay, thank you. Really appreciate that. I'm looking at the velocity over here, too, on the radar picture, just getting into the western side of Rochester right now, and I think it probably is actually getting on top of us fairly soon. This is why we need to be taking shelter at this time all across this area. There's just a mix of warnings, and there it is right there. This is moving into the western side of Rochester. I'm already hearing just above us the wind starting to increase a little bit along with some heavy rain, but look at how well bowed out that is. This is not only capable of producing some damaging winds, I do expect that we are going to have some tree limbs down, some trees knocked over, if this is truly able to get down to ground level. Sometimes that's one of the bigger questions, but this whole area right there, as this storm continues to move off to the east, it's going to be able to knock down some trees, and if trees get knocked down, it's going to be able to knock out some power lines. That is just the way things go with these June storms. So you don't want to be near any windows when stuff like this is coming on through. But looking at the velocity picture right now, that is continuing to track off to the east. And I do expect we're going to have some strong gusty winds coming our way, running on the assumption that all of this is translating down to ground level. So that more than likely is occurring. We've had spotters out in the field that continue to verify what is going on with these particular storms. All right, and then a heads up. So we were talking about that a little bit ago with that rotation on the southwest side of Rochester. I just want to make it clear that as we did check back in with that, we weren't seeing it. It had dissipated from the warning coordination meteorologist in La Crosse, also confirming that, yes, there was brief rotation that was over the southwest side of Rochester. It quickly dissipated. Now we're looking at broad rotation. We are looking at this. If we go back to the velocity picture, this is broad rotation, also some potential of damaging wind gusts. This now maybe a little bit more concerning, right on the leading edge. So we've got a whole line here where there is some broad rotation or damaging winds. I don't know necessarily about this spot right here. We may have a little rotation, maybe especially up here on the northern side of that. But everywhere within this warning, which includes almost all of Olmsted County now, until you get way off to the east. This is where you need to be taking shelter, getting away from windows as damaging wind gusts are a possibility. Yeah, let's get a visual on it. That'd be great. This is what we're seeing from downtown Rochester as we look off to the west. We are starting to see signs of the shelf cloud now as that line moves on in. So here's how things are looking for us now, looking off to the west-southwest. Very heavy rain underneath it, very heavy rain, the shelf cloud right there. And the way these form is we've got a lot of just really humid air pushing toward the storm, and that is where the storm is forming, right along that line. It's all being lifted up very rapidly along the leading edge, and there's a little bit of a wedge of cooler air that's coming out from that storm. So that gives it such a linear look as that's coming through. And I understand we have Robin outside the studio. Robin, what are you seeing, hearing outside the studio? I do hope you were safe.
I am safe, Randy, but thank you. And most importantly, that everyone at home is safe. But we are looking at some clouds that have started developing. Just a few minutes ago, the alarms went off, the sirens went off. They were actually sounding for about 10 minutes here right at the TJ Maxx Plaza. I'm going to kind of give you a look about what we're seeing out here. We've got some just gray clouds. The rain was pouring about 5-10 minutes ago. It was coming down really hard. You can see some billowing clouds here. I'm not sure what that might indicate. Randy's the expert on that. And then over here, it's starting to clear, and you can see where the green skies. And I'm of the understanding that whenever you see kind of a dark green hazy look in the sky, that's the time to be concerned. And of course, we're under a tornado warning. We want you to be safe. be sure to get to your basements. Take cover, grab a mattress, pull it over your head. If you've got kids' helmets, make sure you put their bike helmets on. Just be really careful out there right now. The sirens are going off again. We're keeping a very close eye out here, Randy. So as things continue to develop, check back with us and we'll give the update.
All right, Robin, thank you so much. Really appreciate the heads up. Yes, sirens going off. Here's the visual that we have from downtown Rochester looking down to the southwest. Let's go back to that, please. Tornado warning for Olmsted County for Rochester. Could we please go back to the tower cam view? All right, there we go. So on the tower cam right now, you can see some, hard to say if it's a base right there. There have been numerous areas of rotation, a lot of cloud debris that's around, but yeah, this is an absolute mess in the atmosphere right now. Better to be inside and away from it. Maybe not the best to be on the road right now, but again, we have to do what we have to do, right? Okay, let's go back to the radar picture and see how things are shaping up there. Sirens still going off here for us in the Rochester area, and power starting to brown out just a little bit possibly. So thank goodness things are going, and we've got some people on top of it. There we go. Tornado warning continues. Let's zoom in. We're going to take a debrief here. All of this area right now, Dodge County, Mower County, Olmsted County, there is just a lot of rotation in spots with this storm. Very difficult to parse out everything. Let's zoom in tighter on just this warning right there. Please remind me, Aiden, our time on that one, Dodge, Olmsted County. All right, that's a tornado warning until 3 p.m. We've got numerous areas of gusty wind and possible rotation as the storm comes in. It's all pretty ragged, and what that means is that just like when we were far away from the radar sites, it is really difficult to pin down exactly where there might be something that's tornadic. Let's get the velocity picture on this right now, just on this view. So yeah, right now we've got that push of air that is coming on through. It is just now to Highway 52 on the southwest side of town. It's getting close to our station here. It'll be good to get an observation once it does get here of what sort of wind we've got with it. Now let's move farther down to the south. So this line is pushing in. There could be a tornado that develops along that line. Now we have this warning that's in effect as well until 2:45 for Mower County in southwestern Olmsted County, southeastern Dodge County, Hayfield to Stewartville to High Forest to Rockdale, into northern Mower County. Let's zoom a little bit farther down to the south just so we can include every location that's in that. So you see I-90 right there from I-90 east of Austin up to near Lansing, just to the northeast of Lansing, from Waltham, so right around Sargent as well, and then all the way up into southwestern Olmsted County, Stewartville to High Forest. Let's put a velocity scope on this one as well. We want to get a very close look as to what's going on. This is showing maybe a little bit of concern to the directly north of Dexter, to the northwest of Grand Meadow, but on the other side of I-90, this area right there, difficult to pinpoint, but there looks to be some rotation right there, maybe close to I-90, possibility that there could be a tornado or at least a funnel developing in a situation like that. Now also straight line wind potential, but yes, this broad area now showing signs of rotation, basically right on top. Let's zoom in a little bit tighter. Dexter's a little bit farther down to the southwest, but yes, this area that's off to the northeast of Dexter, south of Pleasant Valley, but heading toward Pleasant Valley more than likely. I am concerned about that. There is a tornado warning right now. This is showing signs of rotating. Okay, tornado warning that clips Mower County is being allowed to expire in 2 minutes, and then we'll carve out Dodge County out of the northern tornado warning. Very good to know, but still, in this part of Mower County, probably have some damaging wind potential right there. If you are in that area between Dexter and Pleasant Valley, especially on the northern side of I-90, please be taking shelter at this time. Let's go a little bit farther back to the north now as we continue with that tornado warning that does include Rochester. We have the potential of a tornado developing right along this line, and also this right there not too far from Rockdale. Looking at that, some possibility of rotation, and also this. We've got multiple spots with this. Because if we take a look right now at the reflectivity picture to show you what's going on the big picture, it is really messy We don't have the hook echo, the classic supercellular look. We've got a storm that's rotating in different spots. Let's zoom out just a little bit farther. This is why all areas of Rochester, if you are able to be taking shelter, please do. The entire city of Rochester is under a tornado warning. They've just updated that. That part of Dodge County has been removed, and I believe in 1 minute that this warning will be let to expire. And there we go, it just dropped. So that warning has been let to expire by our friends at the National Weather Service. Still be on guard anywhere and everywhere where these storms are still moving through. In the Rochester area, we do have a tornado warning. We are under a tornado warning in the city of Rochester, all the way up to just near Pine Island, so Orinoco, Douglas, Rochester. Moving a little bit farther to these. Let's zoom in on the eastern side of this a bit, Aiden, just so we can get a good idea. I'm becoming a little concerned about that pendant that's just developing too. But let's go to see how far this goes. So right off to Iota, just about. No, let's zoom into the eastern side. Let's go this way a little bit. So yeah, just about to Iota. And so that is going to be including the Chester Woods area. Let's drop the velocity scope there on the eastern side of Rochester, just to show you what's going on right there. Okay, that's good news, so let's take that off. Now zooming out a little bit, we're getting pounded with heavy rain right now. The number one concern along this line, I'm a little concerned about this up here as well. That looks like a little bit of bookending that's happening on the reflectivity, so there could be some damaging wind or rotation on the northern side of Olmsted County, so heads up Orinoco up to around Pine Island. Yeah, there it is right there. So you see on the velocity picture right there, that's just near New Haven Township, and that is showing signs of rotation right there. And now we've got this line of those the gusty winds coming through, the wind shift that's moving into the Rochester area. Also on the northeastern side of Rochester, let's take a look at that, highlight that spot. So we're looking north. I believe on the map that's 55th, okay? So let's zoom in a little bit tighter. Let's get down to street level on that right there. This area, so there's Highway 63. Yeah, 55th Street, right there. Broadway and 55th Street showing signs of a little bit of rotation on the velocity picture right now. That leading edge, that wind shift, is now moving into the eastern side of Rochester. Let's scroll down just a little bit. That did catch my eye, though, that portion of the storm moving through. And then we'll probably need to move that velocity scope a little bit as well. Very heavy rain coming down here. Thank goodness we're not looking at hail, but the rain is just going to be real heavy rain. We're looking at amounts that are going to be pushing probably a couple, 3 inches with some of these storms as they continue to move through, and that's also raising that concern for flooding. We're going to have some stronger winds right now on the southwestern side of Rochester by the look of the velocity picture there, and now on the eastern side of Rochester with that line. You see that right there, really well-defined reds and greens. That's where that wind push is coming on through, and it's right along that where there could at times be a little bit of rotation. And again, that was a touch stronger right there by around 55th and Broadway on the north side of Rochester. That would technically be northeast up there. Let's zoom out a little bit farther. Very heavy rain continuing. Let's go take a look at this spot right here. Some strong winds right about near the Rochester Airport right now, and north of Stewartville, but all the way into the Stewartville area as well. I want to make sure that we're not missing any information coming in here. The tornado watch has been canceled for Freeborn and Steele counties. Tornado watch has been canceled for Freeborn and Steele counties. Tornado warning continues for Olmsted County. Now just Olmsted County, and that's until 3 p.m. We've got a large area here where there is likely to be either some rotation or some damaging winds, but also this just keeps on catching my eye. Down here by around not Spring Valley, by Pleasant Valley. So just getting across into parts of the far northeastern side of Mower County. And then also not too far from Stewartville. Anywhere where we have those interactions with winds, it does start to get a little bit more concerning. So this spot near Pleasant Valley right there, and then also getting into really all of central Olmsted County. So along that whole leading edge where that wind shift is coming through, there could be the development of a tornado. Just a very ragged system that is difficult to pin down exact spots. So it's kind of playing whack-a-mole with this to figure out exactly where this is. So we're using all the tools at our disposal, along with our friends at the National Weather Service, to figure out exactly where these warnings need to go and what is happening and where. We'll go back to the reflectivity picture, please, Aiden. Please, I apologize if I'm sounding a little too demanding. I'm just trying to get from spot to spot, all right? We do have a tornado warning for Olmsted County. This is also a little bit of a Boeing structure right there in Mower County. It looks like they just issued a severe thunderstorm warning on that. So we have a very large severe thunderstorm warning. That's for Mower County, for Fillmore County, for Mitchell County, and for Howard County. This is capable of producing damaging winds, maybe a little bit of hail. I want to get back to that tornado warning, though. That's right now. Just FYI, all that area, Mitchell County, or Mower County, Fillmore County, Mitchell, Howard, damaging winds a possibility right there. Everyone really should be taking shelter as they are able to. We have a tornado warning that is still in effect until 3 o'clock this afternoon, and that is for Olmsted County. Right now, you see the polygon right now. This is where you need to be taking shelter. That's the entirety of northern Olmsted County until we get to what you might want to call our little panhandle, perhaps. But it stops right about to the western side of Eota. So Chesterwood's included right there, Rochester, all the way back to near the Byron area. Looks like you're a little clear of that now in Byron, but still very heavy rain right there. And I want to show you the concern and the reason why there's a tornado warning. So we'll go back to the velocity picture again to show you those concerns. As these winds are interacting and pushing through, we've got that gust front moving through, a very well-defined gust front right there on the velocity picture, and then these little twists and turns. Now on that northern side, a couple spots, all right, and there's one right there. So we're getting to now east of Pine Island. Let's zoom in a little bit tighter on that location. So let's zoom in just a little bit. Yep, and that's just near Orinoco right now. It's a bit concerning to me. We could have some rotation. There could be enough to produce a funnel or a small tornado not too far from Orinoco, and then that's going to be moving off to the east at around, or to Highway 63. So that far southwestern corner of Wabasha County, far northern Olmsted County. All right, that's good news. The latest radar scan just came in, and it's a little bit weaker, but let's go a little bit farther down to the south now, because all along this line there's going to be spots where there are some interactions that cause the possibility of some rotating wind and some strong wind gusts as this line continues to push through. Zoom out just a little bit farther here. We've got an indication of some stronger winds, and actually, if anyone here could let me know what things look like out our window, I'd appreciate it, just to see, you know. Okay, heavy rain, not much visibility. How about the wind? Have we got some real strong wind gusts here? Curious about that, but the velocity is indicating that we do have stronger winds coming through, and now where there is this interaction, that is the location where there is more likely to be rotation that's strong enough to cause a tornado. Okay, we're going to go to a live drive here in just a little bit, but I also want to point out this one spot east of Stewartville where we are getting just a little bit of a notch in the signature there too. That's a touch of a concern to me. So if we're looking to near the Pleasant Grove area and just a little bit to the north, so if we can just take a view a little bit farther north into this area. So into the Pleasant Grove area, a little bit farther to the north, yeah, where we've got that kind of a turn. Okay, that's not looking too concerning right now. But again, this spot southwest of Stewartville just keeps on showing up. So right there, I am a little concerned about that. We might have some minor rotation in that section of the storm. We haven't had any indications of, we don't have any new reports that are coming into the National Weather Service of funnels, but everyone can't be everywhere all at once. So we're doing the best we can with the information that we have. I would take shelter in Stewartville, just based on this last indication here. That right there where we've got some rotation indicated on the velocity picture, it is not terribly strong, but just better safe than sorry in Stewartville. That's moving in. I am not saying there is a tornado. I'm saying there could be, based on what we're looking at right here. So it's just the better choice is going to be getting away from windows, getting into the basement and away from the storm, and just let this thing pass by. One of the bigger issues that we have is, if we can, let's go to the downtown tower cam. This is why I know that sometimes the impulse, you know, when you hear that there's the possibility of a tornado, you want to step outside and maybe grab a picture. That's going to prevent you from doing so. Visibility is very low. There is a lot of rain coming down. It is hard to see out there. Paul, let's take a look at what things are looking at. I understand we do have a drive. Do we have a chance to go take a look at the live drive right now? Okay, can't talk right now, but he is behind a Kia. If the Kia were to cross a flooded road, it would be a Nokia. Okay, let's go back to the reflectivity picture. It's raining heavily. That's what the drive looks like. That's what we are looking at from the tower cam view. We'll bounce back to the radar picture. We do have a tornado warning in effect for the next 10 minutes in Olmsted County. And there we go. And now we also have a very expansive severe thunderstorm warning. And what did they just do? Oh my gosh, look at the size of this severe thunderstorm warning right now. So that's all of Olmsted County, almost all of Wabasha County, and the western half of Winona County. We continue with a tornado warning until 3 p.m. for the Rochester area, but so far we haven't seen much in the way of actual tornadoes. There have been pockets of rotation. In this tornado warning, you still need to be taking shelter. That is until 3 p.m. That includes all of Rochester. We also have a very large severe thunderstorm warning for Mitchell, Howard, Mower, and Fillmore counties as that storm continues to move off to the east. Alex, how are things looking for you out there right now as you are on the streets?
Randy, as you can see, the roads are absolutely crazy. Some would say it's raining cats and dogs over here in Rochester. There's lots of puddles. We've been seeing just so much water everywhere. I was outside for just a hair, and I was maybe out there for 2 seconds and I'm all soaking wet. So if you can, stay off the roads, stay inside, get to a place of shelter, and just, if you can, save all your errands for tomorrow. Randy?
That's not a bad idea, Alex. I always like to put off my errands a little bit later. So yeah, we do. We have a lot going on. We have this tornado warning that is in effect, and this is probably going to expire here in about 4 minutes, but I'm not going to let it go. So let's take a look specifically at this tornado warning. I just want to make sure that we are abundantly clear about distinct line. Winds are coming out, winds are meeting this, and on that northern edge where there is it's a little bit more ragged right there, where that just perks my interest a little bit more, where there's the possibility of some rotation. So if we zoom in a little bit tighter and take a look at that, that is just to the northwest of Viola Township. So we are getting to around just south of Potsdam. Yeah, south of Potsdam, east of Highway 63. Just take shelter in that area. As it's moving through, this is a spot where if there is rotation within this, that there could be something developing as far as maybe a funnel or a wall cloud goes. That far northeastern corner, just south of Potsdam, as the storm continues to progress up to the northeast. And my concern, too, is as that storm continues to make its way into Wabasha County. So to the western side of Elgin, west of Plainview, as that is moving off to the northeast. Potsdam be taking shelter at this time. Also south of Elgin. Once we're getting to around, let's say, not too far from Carly State Park in a little while, as that portion of the storm continues to move off to the northeast. That's where it's showing a little bit more strength. Let's zoom out and look a little bit farther down to the south. I am going to hold on to this tornado warning until it expires, just because there is so much going on right now. And our team has a lot more information as far as some of the pictures from earlier, but I just want to make sure we're better safe than sorry on this tornado warning. That has been out now for Olmsted County for a while. I haven't seen any signs. Let's see. I'm just going to double check. All right. Overall, rotation is weakening a little bit, but it is right along this edge where we could see some. Let's take the velocity scope off. Go back to reflectivity. There's that line. So that's what we were looking at too on the northern side of that, where there could be a little bit more rotation, not too far from the Potsdam area. That tornado warning does continue until 3 p.m. And also this section right there, just south of Viola, this is going to be almost entirely a heavy rain producer, some thunder and lightning, some damaging winds, but there are going to be pockets where there is some rotation, where there could be a brief funnel or a small tornado. That does extend from I-90 right there in Marion all the way into Rochester. But for the most part, this is showing more linear signs than nonlinear. We like linear for a lack of tornado development, but there are spots along it where there could be some things developing. Let's zoom out a little bit farther. We'll take a look at the bigger picture right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Mower County, Fillmore, Mitchell, and Howard, but the only tornado warning that is out there right now is for Olmsted County. Now, that is going to more than likely expire in just about a minute. I'm going to hold with this just for a little bit longer because I think it should be done now, and it is. We are clear of that tornado warning, and at this very moment, they have not issued one to replace it. So that is fantastic news. I just saw strongest wind cores right now on radar eastern Mower County and northeast of Osage in Mitchell County. I'm going to toss it to my good friend Maisie, who's got a little bit more information. We have some reports of what has happened earlier and some photos as well, and she's going to give us a summary on that. But again, where you hear thunder, where the rain is falling, stay inside till the storms pass by. Maisie?
All right, excellent coverage, Randy. Thank you so much. And we are going to get back to Rochester here shortly as that tornado warning just expired in the last minute or so, and check back in with Robin, who's standing by live outside. But first, let's go south now, if we can, back down to Albert Lea and Mower County. Now, at this moment, we are seeing that there are 111 power outages from Freeborn Mower Co-op for the power company down there in Albert Lea. So it's very likely that a lot of people that are living there do not have any power. They are working to get that back up. Here's some pictures right now from Albert Lea. You can see that a lot of trees are down. That's probably why the power has gone out for so many people. Just really strong winds down there. We've gotten a lot of pictures and videos, and we so appreciate that from all of our lovely ABC6 weather spotters that are really helping our weather team track this storm. These were taken just before 3 o'clock. We also do have a map of those power outages if we are able to pull that up, the Albert Lea power outages. Paul, if we can pull that up. Again, 111 power outages, and we are going to be keeping up with that situation on our website at KAALTV.com. Thank you very much. So here is that map that we're looking at. As you can see, 111 people do not have any power right now. So if you're trying to get in contact with your family and friends that live in Albert Lea and they're not responding, it could very well just be because that power is out there. I also want to mention, I believe that we have some other videos from Rochester. If we can take a look at those too. We know that that tornado warning that Randy mentioned just expired in the last 2 minutes or so. Okay, we do not have that one ready yet, but let's take a look at our push that we have for our weather spotters, just so we can really help everybody direct you on where we're going. So here is our Facebook page right now. As you can see, when you scroll down, pinned to the very top in our featured section is this post that we've made asking for your photos. We know that so many people want to help us track this storm, and if we can get them all in one place, that's always the most ideal, so that we can keep you guys safe. You can help your neighbors stay safe, so you can just post any videos right there. All right, so now that we've seen that, post everything on Facebook. Let's go live now to Robin Wolfram. She's standing by outside our station here in Rochester in the TJ Maxx Plaza. Robin, what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, well, right now, Maisie, it has really calmed down. About 10-15 minutes ago, the wind was just whipping through here, and all the rain, as you can see, is just coming straight down. But before, it was almost completely horizontal. It was just coming out of the skies. The alarms had kept going off here in our areas. I'm sure many of the other areas. Now, this may continue to go on through the rest of the night. Right now, at least here, we're in the calm. But something I'd like to share with you is that if you are in a tornado warning, and you probably have heard some of this before, but right now in the thick of it, it's probably a really good reminder that the first thing you want to do is take shelter immediately. Go in the basement or an interior room of your home. Get as far away from any window or the exterior of your home as possible. Always protect yourself. Put those walls between you and the outdoor. Cover your head and your neck. If you need to use a pillow, a mattress, or a heavy blanket. And as I mentioned before, if you've got bike helmets, grab those, put them on yourselves and on your kids. Stay informed. Of course, we've got our app. If power goes down here, you can always access our ABC6 Power app, which is really critical in times like this. And that app, if you don't have it, is available in all the app stores. So be sure to check that out. Something else, don't stay in your vehicle. So probably too late now because many people who are watching are not in their vehicle. But should that event happen, get out of it immediately, as well as a trailer home. Get out. You may think you're safe. You are absolutely not. Get to a sturdy building, and if you can't find one, get to the lowest portion of the ground, usually in a ditch, and lay flat down. Just flat down, and wait till you get an all clear on something like that. So again, we have different sites available for you to provide us some of that information. And we want you first and foremost to be safe. But we have so many people in the field right now, as Maisie mentioned, that are eager to help. If you are in a safe place and things have passed, if you see any damage in your area, please send them to us at kaaltv.com. So that's it from out here right now. I'm not sure where we are. Let's check back with Randy to see where we are with warnings and watches right now.
Let's go back to Randy over there. We're all just ready to help.
All right. What teamwork. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Here's the line that we have right now. Severe thunderstorm warnings for Wabasha, Olmsted, Winona County. Severe thunderstorm warnings for Mower County, Fillmore County, Mitchell, and Howard counties. So all along this line, and look at this curvature. So we've got some bow echoing right here. This is turning into a damaging wind threat all along this line. And Aiden is highlighting that right there. So this is areas where, as the line progresses, cold pools develop right behind it and then really kick out the wind. So you get that warmer, more humid air coming in ahead of it, updraft, rain falling down behind it, and then that rain comes down with some colder air very quickly. So we're seeing that in multiple locations, and interactions that happen right along that leading edge can cause spin-ups to form, can cause smaller tornadoes to form. So with the wording of all these severe thunderstorm warnings that have been issued, they're also saying that a tornado is possible. And that is why, as we have those bowing echoes form, there can be some sometimes some small tornadoes that form right along the leading edge. But damaging wind threat is the primary thing, and these are also producing some very heavy rain. So severe thunderstorm warnings continue here for us for in the Rochester area, all the way down to the Osage area and into Cresco. So that whole spot right there, we have severe thunderstorms moving through. Now, we are not saying all clear, but the good news is we are out of the worst of it now in Rochester and in Austin and in Albert Lea and in Mason City. And the worst of it is not coming back here. So it is starting to pass us by right now. The worst of it's in eastern Olmsted County, down to around Stewartville, and then right along to the western side of Fillmore County right now in far eastern Mower County, down to around Leroy. That is where the most concerning part of that storm is located. That's moving to the east. That is going to be nearing Highway 52 in Fillmore County, and now also the far eastern side of Mitchell County, moving into the far western side of Howard County. At this very moment, at 3:07, that is the area that we are most concerned about. And we are getting notification just off the hook right now from the National Weather Service, so I want to see if there's anything concerning going on right now. Some of the strongest measured winds that we've received, 47 miles per hour at RST, so Rochester International. Spring Valley Emergency Operations Center reports a 44 mile per hour wind gust. That was southwest of Spring Valley. And yeah, damaging winds are going to be our number one concern along this line. Let's scoot through a few more graphics. Let's say we're going to take a big picture summary look, and then we're going to get back to some more photos. I know the news team has some stuff ready for us. So let's move on. I think with the next one that you had there, these are all the alerts that we have. In the green, that is a flood watch. That's in effect through the entirety of tonight. We also have have they replaced that? That's interesting. We have a lot of watches going on. We've got a flood watch. This is all severe thunderstorm warning. That entire area is severe thunderstorm warning, and all of these are producing very heavy rain. So let's move on to the next one. As we continue to show you, we're just going to go through a lineup of graphics here. I want to show you the motion of all these storms, the storms that formed where we had a funnel and tornado reported just to the east side of Albert Lea. The line becoming more linear now as it's moving off to the east, still producing very heavy rain across the area. There is some development farther off to the west, but we are not going to see that reach the strength that it is right now. So let's move on to, we're going to go all the way until, well, these tower cams have always been a little bit slow to load, unfortunately, when we're in a sequence like that. Let's just pop to the next one and see if that pops up. All right, downtown Rochester. We're going to have to turn our windshield wiper on a little bit. We're still getting some very heavy rain here, some gusty winds, but the winds at least at our location have calmed down. Now the strongest winds have moved off to the eastern side of Olmsted County. Let's go on to the next camera and just try to take a tour across the area. Rain coming down on Fountain Lake for us in Albert Lea right now, the dark and ominous sky, but we are out of the worst of it in Albert Lea and in Austin and in Mason City and in Rochester, but that threat's still affecting areas a little bit farther off to the east. So now getting around to eastern Mower County and western Fillmore County and then Mitchell and Howard counties as well. Let's see what's next. We got a whole lineup here for you. No, let's go to the next one. All right. Now, this is one thing that I want to finish with for now. We're not going to finish coverage. We're going to keep going for a little while, but I do believe the news team is ready with a little bit more for us. Or are you guys ready? Okay, that sounds good. This is now, as we're tapering off in coverage now, as things have kind of eased up a little bit, we're nearing maybe our about last 20, 30 minutes. River flooding is going to be a concern. This is the Cedar River at Austin just yesterday. Then we got our rain, and then it came up. This was the latest forecast from the National Weather Service. It takes it into action stage, but that was based on some modeled data. So now that we are actually getting rain and know how much rain has been received, in the Cedar River Basin, going up to where it starts around the Hayfield area, we're going to be able to get some better guidance on how high the Cedar River is going. It's becoming more of a flooding issue across the area for us.
I just saw a notification from Olmsted County law enforcement that there's a creek in northeastern Casson that's normally 6 inches deep. It's now 4 feet deep right
Okay.
now. So
Yeah.
even the little creeks are starting to really fill up and flood.
All right. A lot of rainfall. Let's go to the next one because I know we had the Cedar River at Austin, and I had this one prepped for you as well, the Winnebago River at Mason City, and that is forecast to increase above minor flooding stage as more data comes in with what rain has been received so far. Because right now, the river not responding quite to how things were projected, but we've also just received rainfall. So we're going to start to see the rivers responding to the rain that we have had, and we're going to be watching that very closely. There is a flood watch in effect for all of us in southern Minnesota and North Iowa that's in effect through tonight. And there may be a little bit more rainfall coming in yet. But one more graphic, we go back to Maisie. I understand we have Chandler out in the field. Actually, why don't we go to Chandler right now? We're going to reset our table and go back to the radar picture, but we're going to go cover a little bit of news here and see what it looks like out in the field. Chandler, are you on the ready, or are we going to go to Maisie? There's Chandler.
Yeah, Randy, I am just east of Mason City. It's actually just down the road behind me here. I've been here for probably the last 45 minutes to an hour, just kind of keeping an eye on things. And for most part, it's been pretty calm. I came in from Charles City, basically driving straight into the front line of this thing as it passed over Mason City. And let me tell you, if my younger brother could see me, he'd be jealous, because this is exactly the kind of stuff he wants to do. It was scary, it was oppressive, and I drove straight into that first curtain of rain, and it just completely wiped out my visibility. After that, for about half an hour now, it's been pretty calm, but as you can see now, it's starting to rain again. Off in the distance, I'm starting to get some cloud-to-cloud lightning strikes and some thunder that's just about made me jump out of my socks so far. But right now things are mostly calm, just a light drizzle at the moment. You speak of rivers and flooding, by the way. I drove over some of the rivers here in North Iowa, and they're flowing pretty hot and heavy as it is. I also spoke with Charles City Police Department about the Cedar River that flows through there. They are not completely concerned at the moment based on the predictions and the models that they'd been given by the National Weather Service, but they are still recommending people keep an eye out for stuff. They told me that, you know, if there is flooding on some of the roads in that area, make sure you're not driving through them, because you never know what's underneath the surface or what could be blocking the road. So it's better just to not take the chance. That's from the Charles City Police Department. But right now things have pretty much eased off. It's just some solid rain, a couple flashes of lightning and thunder. Looking pretty good compared to what's been going on up there. I'll throw it back to you now, Randy.
All right, we thank you so much, Chandler. We know that everybody's been very hardworking today and covering all the different areas in our DMA here. And we do have Alex Kay, who is in Rochester now. I believe he's still on a live drive checking out the roads for everybody in case you do have places to go tonight. So let's throw it now to Alex. It was really downpouring. How does it look now?
Maisie, we're on Highway 52 now, headed north, and it's obviously still downpouring a lot. Visibility is very tough to see out there. I was talking to my driver earlier who says it's not terrible, but some of the puddles are huge and it's pretty easy to lose control of the vehicle at times. So you're going to want to drive with an extra level of focus. Keep your eyes on the road, use 2 hands on the wheel, everything you learned in driver's school. I'm on Highway 52 headed north towards Zumbrota, and it is obviously still downpouring quite a bit. My brother would always say it's raining cats and dogs, and that seems to be the case. Maisie?
All right, thank you so much, Alex. And I know that we do also have some flooding photos that we have just gotten from Blooming Prairie, so let's take a look at those if we can, Paul. I know he's getting those pulled up. And we do appreciate everyone sending us these pictures. Take a look at that. It's already, covered the road. I believe this is in Waltham just within the last 15 minutes or so. You can see that in those situations, never ever drive through that kind of puddle. They say, I believe the saying is, don't drown, Brandy. Turn around, don't drown. Yes, so there's just no point in trying to get through that. This is Blooming Prairie. Now you can see that these residential areas are already going underwater. And as Randy's mentioned, now with a lot of that tornado warnings and all of those things expiring for right now, this is still Blooming Prairie you're looking at. But flooding is still going to be a major concern right now, especially for a lot of lower valleys here in our viewing area. Still Blooming Prairie, and I don't want to call out anyone, but the van, unless that's like your house right there, really, we do not want to be trying to drive through that. It's just, it's not worth it, and you can get stuck very, very easily. Take a look at that now. That is a truck tipped over in Albert Lea because of those really strong winds here. And I just want to mention too, we really could not provide the coverage that we're trying to provide today or yesterday without help from all of you guys there at home. And we certainly we're not asking anybody to put themselves in dangerous situations to take a picture. It's just not worth it. But if you do find yourself in a safe place, a secure place, we do so appreciate you doing so. And if we could pull up our email push for our weather spotters, just so everybody can have a good place to go with these photos. Now, this is our email. I told you a little bit earlier about our Facebook page. If you're not on social media and this is easier for you, we would really appreciate it if you could direct those photos just to our news email. And it's really important to remember, we just need to know what time that photo or video was taken and where it was taken so that we can keep your neighbors, keep our communities informed. And that weather video also, just to be transparent, that was taken yesterday by one of you lovely people at home to really help us out with those tornado coverage that was in Heartland yesterday. So at this point, that is all we have on the news side. But again, just want to say a big thank you to everybody that's helping us out. Randy?
Yeah, that's a great point, Maisie. We, just like the National Weather Service and us, we all need spotters out in the field. The National Weather Service uses ham radio operators, local Skywarn spotters who are out in the field relaying those reports, because radar is a great tool, but it doesn't do enough. It can't tell us exactly what's going on at the ground level at any given time. So every photo you share comes in really handy for us. And when we get those photos as well, when they come directly to us, we will send those off to the National Weather Service so that they can confirm what's happening. Now we're going to do just a quick redux here as far as what's going on. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the next 13 minutes in Wabasha County, Olmsted County, in Winona County, and in the far eastern side of Mower County now. Mower County, you are almost out of it, and then into Fillmore County, and all the way down now into Howard County. Mitchell County, you are out of this warning. In the city of Rochester, we are out of a severe thunderstorm warning. The eastern side of Olmsted County is in that. So eastern Olmsted County to the eastern side of Wabasha County and the western half of Winona County. Look at all the curvature that we're getting in this. There is a lot going on. Now, I know we were going to move on to another graphic possibly, but I want to point out one spot here. Let's take a look at where this is coming in, Aiden. You see where I'm looking at right there? Just that northern bookend of this bow echo. Let's zoom in a little bit tighter right there, because that southern portion of the storm, right in far southern Olmsted County, that is where things could be getting a little hairy right now, and that's headed toward you in Chatfield. So basically on Highway 30 between Chatfield and Stewartville, we have this northern bookend right there, and that does to me look more concerning, where things could be getting a little windier, or perhaps there could be something that twists a little. Let's take a look at the velocity picture right there. All right, so that's that northern bookend currently. So far, that looks a little concerning to me, but not overly concerning. But with that bookend forming, that's also showing that we have on the backside of that storm a lot of damaging gusty wind. That's between Spring Valley and Fountain. So that is going to be coming your way, and that's on the doorstep for you in Fountain, just FYI. Vaughn, if you're sitting at home and just tying a few flies, FYI that storm's going to be hitting your house in just a few minutes. So this really strong batch of wind is headed toward Fountain. It's moving off to the east. This is just up to the north of Forestville State Park. It is to the east of Spring Valley, and that is where we have the potential of some strong damaging winds. Also in the Chatfield area and just down to the southwest of Chatfield. It's not showing a whole lot there, but there is just a little bit of confusion in the velocity picture. It's looking fairly ragged on that bookend, so I'm a little bit concerned that there could be some damaging winds right along those edges too, but mainly just to the west of Fountain and moving your way. So let's zoom in and go back to the reflectivity picture here. That warning is in effect until 3:30 p.m. We did get a 49-mile-per-hour wind gust reported near Wyckoff. So that confirming right now in this area of those damaging winds, the possibility there, 49 miles per hour measured, would indicate to us that there is likely to be stronger wind in some areas where it's not measured, because there just aren't that many instruments that are out there. So if we're getting one that's reporting 50, more than likely in some locations just outside of there, there could be wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour. So around Fillmore, Spring Valley, and Wyckoff, where it was measured at 49 miles per hour, this line is pushing out some strong winds, and they are just approaching the Highway 52 area as that storm continues to progress off to the east. Wider picture so we can look a little bit farther down to the south. As we have that line continuing now into Howard County in the southwestern corner of Fillmore County, the most dangerous portion of the storm does look to be on the northern side of that. This is all one severe thunderstorm warning, but in northwestern Howard County, that could be packing a little bit more of a punch. And on the northern side now, Rochester out of this severe thunderstorm warning. Eastern Olmsted County is in it. Let's look a little bit tighter on the northern end again. So the areas of concern to me are from around Wabasha County, stretching, so near Highland, east of Plainview right now, right along that bow that's into the northwestern side of Winona County. We have Whitewater State Park right about there. I would bet you that we are getting some stronger winds right there on the far eastern side of Wabasha County getting into western Winona County. So let's take a look at the velocity picture right there. More than likely we have an increase in wind in that location, but it's just not as strong as it is farther down to the south. But yes, right there, you see that green right there. So there's Altura. You got South Branch of the Whitewater right there. We've got Whitewater State Park and Whitewater River going right there. So in that area, that is where the winds are going to be a little bit stronger. They're also increasing not too far to the west of St. Charles. Those of you in Dover and Eota, stronger winds, not indicated on the velocity picture that things are really getting out of hand, but I would guess that we still have probably about, some locations could have around 45 to 50 mile per hour winds, which is really good to see that things are starting to behave a little bit. Let's keep this velocity picture up, but let's go a little bit farther down to the south as we continue with these warnings for about the next 8 minutes. Since we've been on so long anyway, we're going to hang in there, and my goodness, let's see what we are looking at with this right there. All right, that's what's coming into the Fountain area. What are we getting for some reports out of that? Are we a little concerned? Let's go a little farther down to the south on the picture. Yeah, that bow echo could be producing some real strong winds right in that location. We are on the La Crosse radar, I'm pretty sure, on that view, right? Yeah, we should be on the La Crosse radar right there. So that severe thunderstorm warning continues, and this is approaching the Fountain area right now, getting into Fountain, strong damaging winds. If those are translating down to the ground level, more than likely we are going to have some trees down at a minimum. Okay, getting now a little bit of a closer view, that's a better sign. But yes, there's been cell that's popped up ahead of it too, which might steal a little bit of the energy from that main line. But getting into the Lanesboro area, Eagle Bluff Environmental Learning Center, back to around Fountain, right along Highway 52 up to the Chatfield area. So many of you are familiar with this. Right there is the Root River Bike Trail from Fountain to Lanesboro, right along the Root River. That's the area that's going to have some of the higher impact from this wind that has been gusting in from the storm. So some straight line wind damage possible in this area. Fountain, Wyckoff, Fillmore, down to around the Forestville area. And then Preston, you may get this stronger wind. Right now the wind is just a little bit off to your west, but it is rolling your direction. It may skirt the north side of town. But it is especially up Highway 52 in the Fountain area right now. Hopefully we'll be able to get some reports from our friends in the Fountain area and in Fillmore soon. I'm not seeing anything. Let me double check here if we've got any new reports coming in from that. I'm not seeing any new wind reports from the National Weather Service there. Double checking just one more time. We got a new, let's see. Okay, let's go back to reflectivity really quick. Let's show you what we've got going on with this storm. Zoom out just a little bit more. We did get a new severe thunderstorm warning for Winona County, Fillmore County, Houston County till 4:15. It's getting a little bit farther off to the east. Let's zoom out. We can do a quick summary here. That warning that has just been issued for this line of storms, it's replacing the old ones. So this line from the eastern side of Olmsted County, Fillmore County, as it's pushing off to the east, this is replacing the old warning. So that includes Dover, Eotus, St. Charles, down to Preston, Fountain, Chatfield, down to Forestville State Park, all the way into Winona counties. That has been issued until 4:15. We're going to go, by the way, right now to a very wet Brandon Antony. Brandon, where are you right now and what are you seeing? Thank you.
Yeah, Randy, I'm in Dexter right now, not in the best place here, but most of the storm has passed. There has been quite the rainfall. Earlier when I was here, I was actually driving on my way to Austin and had to pull over due to large amounts of rain, wanted to take shelter just in case. So that's just a sign for those who may be on the road still with these weather conditions to take shelter if need be. But again, right here in Dexter, most of the storm seems to be past. It is still sprinkling a little bit. I've been kind of waiting it out here as things pass by. But again, another reminder to just take shelter and make sure to stay safe, especially if you're out driving. And again, things right now in Dexter calming down a little bit. You can still hear crackles of thunder, but for the most part, things have passed by. So Randy, back to you.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much for the report. This is really, for the most part, just turning into a very heavy rain event for us. We do have that new warning that has come in. We're going to stay with this thunderstorm until it's cleared Olmsted County into Winona County, maybe a little bit farther east. We'll stay with you in Fillmore County as well as this moves in, because that has... Okay, we have a decent photo of some damage that's coming in, I understand, from Twin Lakes. That was where earlier we initially had the possibility of a tornado. I do not know if that is tornado damage that we're looking at. We're unsure of the time that that occurred, but damage from today's storms in the Twin Lakes area. Sorry to see that. Okay, good. The chickens are okay. I was about to comment. I'm a little worried about what's going on in that location. We did get verification that the chickens are okay. So that is very good news. I'm glad to hear that, but never a good sign to see any property damage occurring from these storms. Unfortunately, that happened yesterday in Heartland. The good news is the family was not affected physically by the tornado hit there, and their home is okay. We've also got flooding video, and flooding is becoming the concern here for us. And okay, this is from, looks like it's from Facebook, from Owatonna. Street flooding in Owatonna. So while we're looking at this, might I editorialize a little bit? One of the reasons why we do not cross flooded roadways, especially what you saw earlier, and I know that when it happens, when you're driving across these, it's areas you're very familiar with. And you've crossed that road many times before. You know where that road is. You have a really good idea of how deep the water is. But the thing is that water is so efficient at eroding that layer underneath a road that it can very quickly wash away a road, and you cannot tell that it has washed away a road. So it only looks like it might be 12 feet deep, You know, you got a big truck, you could make it through, no issue, but that water is covering up the fact that the road might be gone in some spots, especially where that water, when it was thunderstorm driven, was very quickly going to a roadway, taking away the substrate underneath the asphalt and not leaving a road behind. It has happened so many times. It happens every time we have flooding, and that is the number one reason why a car will be washed away or why there might be a fatality because somebody was crossing a flooded roadway that you were certain would not be that deep, but you cannot tell if the road is there. FEMA. Okay, the thunderstorms that we have out there right now, still capable of producing some damaging winds. And Aiden, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like that line that was moving through around the fountain area and a little bit farther, it looks like it's lost a little bit of its bowing structure.
Yes, it certainly does look like it has. It's become more, I don't know if you would say linear. It doesn't look as if it's an actual bow anymore. It still kind of looks like it, but definitely not what it was.
Just a little bit right there. I almost wonder if the storm itself, if the outflow kind of overran the storm, if it cut out the leading edge and kind of cut off the inflow a little bit. So we still have some portions of it where there could be some damaging winds. We are seeing that along this line. But yeah, the velocity picture still looking like we've got some damaging wind potential in just that Preston to Chatfield area right along Highway 52. Could even just be in the wake of the passing of that storm. Sometimes that happens too. A little wake low develops, so that moves on out. But that is still showing some higher winds in the northern side of Fillmore County. So right now, strong damaging winds possible in that area. Those of you familiar with this right here from around Chatfield down to Preston and into the Fountain area, a lot of canoers will go along the Root River. Probably not the best time to be out on a canoe now on the Root River as the water levels are just going to keep going up. We just keep seeing this heavy rainfall across the area. That's the one area I'm a little bit more concerned with this storm, that northern Fillmore County, far southeastern Olmsted County. So that's going to be nearing right around Troy and Saratoga and around the Trout Run area. Right in there where some of those winds are going to be a little bit stronger. Now on the leading edge, that's showing some signs that that's kicking out a little bit. So still, the winds leading the charge there with these storms now. Let's go back to the reflectivity view and take a look at what's going on. Big storms all across the area. Let's zoom out, take a big, because this is such a large severe thunderstorm warning for us right now, and that's going to continue for a little while, but it is becoming more indistinct in the Olmsted County area. Still the potential of some damaging wind gusts there for you around Dover, Iota, St. Charles, and now into the western side of Winona County, western Fillmore County. Now on the back side of this, what I was just shaking my head at a minute ago, is that the storm is moving on out. And that's great to see, but on the back side, we still have some heavy rain coming down, and that is only going to be adding to the rainfall totals. We do have a flood watch that's in effect here through the rest of tonight. So with a flood watch in effect, the rain continuing to come down, terrible news here for us to see this. Not saying we're going to have horrible, horrible flooding issues. We are, I am guessing, going to see some streams and rivers where that is going to be a problem. But we've already got water that's covering roads. We have the urban and street flooding that's happening everywhere. Even, let's say, in Rochester, in these cities, in Austin and Albert Lee, around homes and apartments, you're going to see in those little gullies between houses where the water's just rushing. There were just so much water with these storms, and it has been so humid. If we just, we're able to rewind this and go back to maybe about an hour and a half ago when we could just barely see out of our tower cam window because the rain was so heavy and there's so much moisture in the atmosphere. Yes.
Emergency management from Winona County. There was a spotter in Buffalo City that reported 8-inch per hour measured rainfall.
Yeah.
That is wild.
That's awful. So what we maybe just didn't catch all of that, but there was Winona County just reported that somebody, was it in Buffalo City? Yes. Buffalo City reported 8-inch per hour rainfall rates. That is way too much water. That's nearing the amount of rainfall rates that we were seeing back in 2007. All right, when there was just tremendous flooding across the area. We are not seeing storms train like that. That's good news. This is progressive. It's moving on out. This is stubborn. Right here, we're still seeing that rain right there, but as these storms continue, we are getting very heavy rainfall rates, and we are getting those now in a very sensitive area. So on the eastern side of Olmsted County, Winona County, Fillmore County, this is where we're getting into the driftless. This is where we have those streams and rivers that are high gradient, like Garvin Brook, Whitewater, Rush Creek, all these spots where these streams, you go see them, you visit, you can literally jump across some of them, but they're going to fill with water, so we're getting very heavy rain in those areas. Now the upside is that's going to prevent things from being as bad as 2007 is that these are going to keep moving. We're not going to have them setting up in an east-west form and just continuing to rain for 24 hours straight. I don't expect we're going to see any rainfall totals that are getting up to around 8-9 inches, but we are getting too much water at once in a lot of these spots. So now as we transition out of a severe threat into this evening, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on the river gauges around the area, a close eye on the river gauges in Fillmore County, in Olmsted County, Winona County, in Mower County, the Cedar River at Austin, the Winnebago River at Mason City, the Shell Rock River watershed from Albert Lee down to around parts of North Iowa. All of those streams and rivers we're going to be keeping a very close eye on as we go into tonight, because these are really gushing rainfall here for us. What time is the expiration on the warning that we have right now?
4:15.
4:15. We are more than likely not going to continue live coverage until 4:15. We have seen the primary threat for severe weather move out of Olmsted County. We will probably go back to regular programming here in just a little bit. I'm waiting to be told when from our crew. Hint, let me know how long you want me to go. We're transitioning out of that. We are going to go back to Maisie right now. She's saying right now. Maisie.
Yes, okay, thank you, Randy. He's talking a lot about flooding, and we know that he mentioned a lot of flooding happening in Winona County. Now, this isn't as extensive as Winona County's 8-inch per hour, but we do have our ABC 6 News Good Morning anchor, Axel Gumbel, who is in Leroy right now, and he's going to give us a little bit of a look at how Mower County is doing with that flooding, if we can play that video.
Axel Gumbel with a quick impression from Leroy. I am parked here on Main Street right now in downtown Leroy facing west. It's 3:16 right now. We just had torrential rainfalls here, but only for a little bit, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Came down really hard. Have to check my rain gauge yet to see how much it was. Right now we're back to light rain. Had a couple of wind gusts come through, some lightning, some thunder, but by and large that was it. Not sure what else is hiding in the clouds there. It's a big old gray soup, as you can tell here, but just wanted to give you a quick impression from Leroy here in far southeastern Moore County.
All right, thank you so much, Axel. Axel is another ABC 6 weather spotter that we have. And as we wrap up the coverage, I will send it back to the chief for those final words before this expires here at 4:15. Randy.
Thank you so much, Maisie. On the radar picture right now, the strongest portion of the storm has moved east of St. Charles. We're getting around the Lewiston, Utica area right now and moving off to the east. Also, there we are around Pilot Mound. That has moved off just to the east of you. And a stronger portion of the storm now into parts of Fillmore County, but that is weakening quite a bit. So as it has moved just a little bit out of our viewing area here, we're going to be wrapping up shortly. I want to give a quick summary of what's going on. And then, of course, to tease ahead to what will be happening later tonight. So let's take a wider view, take a look at everything, and then we're going to go over to, we're going to show you where the watches are in effect. So the strongest portion of the storm right now into Winona County, through down to Fillmore County, still very strong near Charles City and just off to the east, moving into Chickasaw County, but no warnings in effect right now for North Iowa, at least right now at 3:37 p.m. We still have rain coming down heavily in spots in Olmsted County and Dodge County. That's going to contribute to these very heavy rainfall totals we've already received. That continues over into Austin. Let's move the radar a little bit, Aiden, so we can get the view from Minneapolis, because we might be getting a little bit of messy radar data because the radar is shooting through those storms. But okay, heavier rain in spots of eastern Freeborn County, getting into Mower County around Austin, and then farther down to the south into parts of North Iowa, raining heavily there too. There has been some redevelopment down into parts of southwestern Minnesota, around Martin County and Faribault County. So there is some redevelopment there, but we're not going to see the redevelopment, more than likely, of strong to severe storms. So some really good news on that accord. But at this time, severe thunderstorm warnings for eastern Olmsted County, Fillmore County, those are until 4:15. So unless there is anything, all right, let's get to the watches. So let's advance a couple more graphics. Let's show you what's going on here. Freeborn County and Steele County have been cleared from the tornado watch. tornado watch still in effect for these counties until 8 p.m. Severe thunderstorm watch around the perimeter of this tornado watch. So we are in a severe thunderstorm watch for for Worth County and Cerro Gordo County down to Wright, Franklin, Butler, and the rest of parts of central to eastern Iowa, but a tornado watch in southeast Minnesota until 8 p.m. Now on top of that, we have a flash flood watch or a flood watch. So a flood watch is in effect for all the counties that you see here in green. We're keeping a close eye on that. There's that severe thunderstorm watch. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in this very large space right now as that storm continues to move off to the east. Our number one concern now as we are transitioning out of a tornadic phase into heavy rain is how much more rain are we going to see? I am hopeful that we start to see, I haven't had a chance to double check any of the model data recently, but we should start to see an end of the precipitation between 6 and 8 p.m. That's my hope. It's going to be coming to an end here this evening, but the flooding concerns will be there beyond as a lot of runoff continues to occur and that water moves into our streams, rivers, through the watersheds across the area that are highly sensitive already considering the heavy rain of yesterday and then also on Monday. So that's the recap. Tornado watch until 8 p.m. I think we're probably going to start to see more counties cleared out of that as the National Weather Service is able to kind of get things rallied up a little bit and handle the storms that are continuing to move through this part out of parts of Winona County and Fillmore County, as that's still a severe thunderstorm warning until 4:15. Damaging wind is the primary threat. And on that note, we're going to go back to Maisie. Before I do that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has stayed with us. Thank you so much to everybody who has sent in photos, videos, kept us up to date with your eyes in the field. Thanks to Aiden for helping out as well. Thanks so much, I appreciate it. So Maisie, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Randy. And I just want to take a quick look at this video. This is incredible video of flooding that happened at a Rochester intersection. You can see it's already getting pretty deep out there, no matter where you are. At 16th Street Southwest? Southeast, 16th Street Southeast there in Rochester. And we also just got some news into our newsroom that effective immediately Broadway Avenue North between 14th Street and Elton Hills Drive is temporarily closed due to that localized flooding that you just saw. That's near where we just saw that video because of that construction zone and the surrounding areas. There are barricades in place. There's also detour signs that are active to help guide you on where you need to go tonight. And those closures will remain in effect until the rain stops and that water level begins to recede. So I think we have a little bit more flooding video if you guys want to take a look here before we close out our coverage. This is a backyard that is in southwest Rochester. You can see, I mean, we really got hammered here with the rain. It's created a river there right in their own backyard. So again, like Randy said, just to reiterate without sounding redundant, we're so appreciative of all of our ABC6 weather spotters that have helped us. And as we begin to close this out, I think we're good from here. So thank you guys so much for staying with us. He's coming back to the desk. A long 2 days of weather coverage for the weather team.
Yeah, it certainly has been. Storms are not done, but we're no longer needing to just be on top of everything all the time, all at once. Thunderstorms still strong in parts of Fillmore County. They're going to continue to move off to the east. There will be more development once we go into the evening. So I was just double checking a few things as we had a break. But the severe threat is going to be fading with those. That's the hope.
That's a good thing.
But they're still producing some heavy rain. So now that's going to be our focus here tonight and then tomorrow. So we'll keep a very close eye on that.
We will. And as far as we know, it is regular programming again tonight. So we will see you back here at 5 o'clock for the very latest. Don't forget to download our ABC6 mobile app. Check our website, KALTV.com, for the very latest. Thank you all for staying with us.
You bet. Thank you so much.